Did you know that King Von's passing may have been influenced by a hospital nurse? According to a close associate of F, King Von successfully made it through 2 surgeries and even woke up screaming for his firearm. However, he later went into shock and passed away before undergoing his final surgery.
And Von made it through 2 surgeries. He got 3 surgeries, but he made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said where he was at, and he went into shock. So he was wow. 2 surgeries. How hours later, Taylor knows he fought the nurse. He the one told me that. His mom didn't even know that. How do you know what's going on inside the hospital? Because she was here in the hospital.
King Von's passing has been the subject of much speculation, with some believing a hospital nurse played a role. A close associate of F revealed that after surviving 2 surgeries, Von suddenly sprang out of his hospital bed, frantically looking for his firearm. A nurse then rushed into his room, startling him, and shortly after, he went into shock and passed away. Interestingly, some rappers had already hinted at this before. To fully understand the events leading up to that night, it's crucial to go back to November 5th, 2020. King Von and his crew were preparing to head to Club Opium in Atlanta for his album release party, a night meant to celebrate his life and success. However, no one knew how tragically short-lived it would be. Growing up in a dangerous environment like O Block, Von was well aware of the risks of being caught out in public. To ensure his safety, he rolled out to the club with a crew of 20 to 25 O Block members spread across 8 vehicles. Even his manager, 100K Track, later spoke about the extreme security measures Von always took to protect himself.
I travel with one security that moves with Von, and he traveled with 2 more security. You know what I'm saying? Von traveled in a crew truck, and not only that, his guys are security, man. He traveled with 10 to 15 guys daily. They protect and love Von more than any security will. We're like 8, 10 cars deep, 20, 25 in Entourage.
As the night went on, something changed. King Von's behavior shifted, and he began acting recklessly, unknowingly putting his life in jeopardy. Meanwhile, his album release party was going smoothly. Everyone was enjoying themselves, celebrating his success. Around 2:30 a.m., as the party came to an end, Von and his entourage began exiting the club, intending to head back to their Airbnb. However, at the last minute, Von made a sudden decision to change his plans and go elsewhere.
Everybody's mind leaving the club is that we're going to the hotel and Airbnb. So that's normal routine. The club he went to, the after hours wasn't getting paid for it, and I have no acknowledgement of his team that had no acknowledgement of it. That was the complete Von decision.
As the rest of his crew made their way to the Airbnb, King Von made a sudden change of plans, instructing his driver to take him to a different Club Monaco lounge. This split-second decision would be the first of many that ultimately led to his tragic passing.
Everybody else that was with us driving to the Airbnb, and Von literally went to the venue by himself. We got a call later from people in the car like, hey bro, we hit by, matter of fact, I think from the DJ was like, hey bro, you know we hit by ourselves. Like, where you guys at? And everybody rerouted to that venue.
For some reason, the people in Von's truck didn't inform the rest of the crew about the change of plans until they had already arrived at Monaco Lounge. Meanwhile, everyone else was still at the Airbnb, expecting Von to show up. Once the rest of the team found out, they immediately jumped back into their vehicles and rushed to the new club. When Von's manager arrived at Monaco, he could tell right away that something was off. Von wasn't his usual energetic self. Instead, he was unusually quiet, keeping to himself and staring at his phone for an extended period. While his crew was eager to head inside the club, Von remained in the truck alone for 30 minutes, lost in thought.
For some reason, Von was, this man is like, I promise you, the best artist I ever moved in my life. For some reason that night, like, he stayed in the car for like 30, 35 minutes.
Von's manager got back into the truck, trying to check on him and see what was wrong. After some time, Von finally agreed to go into the lounge. However, due to Monaco Lounge's club policies, his crew was required to leave their firearms in their vehicles. Before heading inside, they sent security in first to scout the club and ensure.
I went to the car he was in, I was like, yo, Von. Went inside the passenger seat, I was like, yo, Von, bro, come on. Everybody here, wait, let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. We're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Von's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside. Check the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no.
However, the real danger wasn't inside the club, it was outside. Quando Rondo was nearby with a few of his crew members, seemingly trying to get some rest, almost as if they anticipated something was about to go down later that night. While conducting security checks, one of Von's crew members noticed Quando Rondo asleep in a car parked right next to Von's vehicle.
Now, right before we go inside the club, one of his homeboys came to the car and said, "Hey, so and so's here." And Von just jumped up like, "Oh, come on, let's go."
King Von reacted instantly, jumping out of his truck and putting his phone down, ready to confront Quando Rondo. His team tried to calm him down, urging him not to escalate the situation, but he was determined. Ignoring their attempts to hold him back, Von moved around the front of the white vehicle and, without a word, immediately started swinging at Quando.
Jumped out the car. By the time Von jumped out the car, I don't even think he knew where so-and-so was. He just jumped out the car. He bumped into so-and-so. As soon as he bumped into so-and-so, started brawling.
Just seconds into the brawl, Quando Rondo's best friend, Lil Tim, emerged from the back of the white car with a firearm. Without hesitation, he fired multiple shots at King Von, striking him several times across his body, and also hitting Von's manager once in the leg. Some of Von's crew members were still armed, and the moment they heard the gunfire, they pulled out their weapons and began firing back at Lil Tim. Their retaliation was immediate, and they managed to bring Lil Tim down just a few feet away. With gunfire erupting in the area, 2 off-duty officers working security down the street quickly jumped into their vehicles and started making their way toward the scene. As they got close, they unleashed multiple rounds into the chaotic scuffle, tragically hitting and killing one of Von's crew members. Meanwhile, King Von lay in the middle of the street, clutching onto Quando Rondo, who was right beside him. Some online believe that Quando was attempting to snatch Von's chain before fleeing, but Von's manager insists that Von was actually holding on to Quando to shield him.
Was he trying to take Von's chain, or? Honest truth, I don't think he really had no jewelry on, and from the people that was a little closer, Von was actually holding onto him. You ain't nowhere. You hear like even through getting that strong, like he was literally holding him.
Once the gunfire finally ceased and the chaos settled, the race to save King Von's life began. His closest friend Mu ran straight into the middle of the street, shoving Quando Rondo aside before grabbing Von and carrying him to the getaway car. Meanwhile, Quando and his team quickly fled the scene, dragging Lil Tim into the white car before speeding off to the hospital. Despite being hit 4 times, Von remained conscious in the car. He tried to keep everyone calm, reassuring them that everything would be okay and urging them to stay in good spirits.
When he was in the car, I myself wasn't there. The gentleman that was in the car with him was panicking, and Von was the one that was like, "Hey, calm down, slow down, chill, I'm gonna be good." Into the hospital. And honest truth, we all thought that the way he was carrying himself from that incident and what I was told from the people in the car, that he would be fine.
After arriving at the hospital, King Von was immediately rushed into surgery. Initially, reports stated that he passed away during the operation. However, new information later suggested that Von actually survived his surgeries, leading many to believe he was still alive afterward. A close associate from F later provided further details, claiming that Von woke up after surgery and began frantically looking for his firearm. In that moment, a nurse suddenly ran into his room, startling him. Shortly after, he went into shock and passed away. This was the same firearm that
like you said, the King Von situation. Like, there was absolutely no reason for Von to be rolling around with that dude. Like, there was no, especially since he had security. Like, someone should have jumped in. It should never even. I almost feel like if you have real security.
I feel like they would have been more ready and calm.
Sad, man. Sad. I mean, the whole King Von thing is really
that fucked me up,
for
bro.
everyone right now.
That fucked me up, bro. I like King Von.
Headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people think was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
2 groups of individuals got into a physical altercation. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange of...
Von's natural instinct was to reach for his firearm habit, formed from growing up in a dangerous environment where survival depended on being armed. However, according to reports, he didn't even have one on him at the time. When news of King Von's passing broke, it sent shockwaves through the entire rap industry. As one of Chicago's most fearless and formidable gang members, many refused to believe it was real until official reports confirmed that.
Check it out. Let's walk over here and see this Vaughn picture. I know it's a lot of options. I'm running y'all to see where I'm at.
Why is this black truck still right here?
Man,
Play, watch that truck. Watch that truck right there.
Even something as simple as crossing the street to view King Von's mural became a viral moment. O Block members captured the scene during an Instagram Live,